You look so much like Uncle Elijah. I'm so proud I met you. It's been a long time since I saw you.
Yeah.
Back when he was running a kind of little flea market here. Last time I saw you.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So
You got me beat. I ain't never seen him.
You not saw Bean
No,
before?
I've met
He's
him.
named after Uncle Elijah.
I've met Bonnie. Burton's girls.
Yeah.
And then, but I've never met any of the boys.
He's named Burton's named Benjamin Burton. And Uncle Elijah's name was Uncle Elijah was named Benjamin.
Benjamin Elijah.
yeah, he was Elijah.
Yeah.
Was it Elijah Benjamin or Benjamin Elijah?
Well,
That's me.
but now he was my hero.
He's just Burton.
From the time I was little, Uncle Elijah looked after me, even with his family.
Really?
He would. If as I grew older and the Depression came along, I was a teenager, just married. Uncle Elijah, you know how hard it was for people to survive. Uncle Elijah always found a way to help me anyway. It was no big nothing, but the little things that makes life a little better, like finding me a place to live. Uncle Hal and Uncle Elijah married sisters, as you know, and I couldn't have loved them better than if they'd have been my very own. I didn't think there's no difference in Aunt Lassie and Aunt Willis. And Uncle Hal and Uncle Elijah, it's all just my family. I loved them to death. Aunt Willis didn't have no children, and I stayed with her and Uncle Hal a lot because she had animals to take care of. And in the wintertime, Uncle Hal couldn't get outside. So I stayed over there and helped with the animals.
What did he ever do with Uncle Elijah's car?
I don't know what he did with that. I don't know.
Danny might have it.
He wanted
I think maybe Danny has it. I think you're right.
He wanted Travis to the upholstery. Travis does.
For many years.
Yeah.
Travis does awful good work upholstery, and he worked in an upholstery shop, and he wanted him to fix it, and then he backed out. He said he told him what it would cost, the upholstery material. He wanted to strip down to the naked metal.
You tell him about Charlie biting Uncle Russell Brown.
No, that don't go in with it. That has nothing to do with this. What killed Uncle Russ was infection from a hog, tore his leg nearly off, and it just set up infection. It just kept getting worse and worse, and it didn't.
So what did they do if you had an infection back then? They didn't have penicillin, or what did they
My
do?
God, Ben, live a little.
Well,
There was no such a thing as penicillin.
We
didn't even have a doctor.
Oh, wow. So,
No hospital, no doctor's office.
Epsom salt or
well, the penicillin
alcohol.
came in the mid-40s, right?
Well, yes, but Uncle Russ was dead before then.
So penicillin wouldn't have helped.
That was at my house the other evening. My quilt.
Well, what did they do for an infection back then? What I'm saying is, what did they?
The old remedies like we still use. All kind of poultices and
Tree bark or anything like that?
Of course.
And that's what they had. How would they use tree bark? What would they do? Just strip it off the?
And make poultices with it. You boiled it into a tea, and you took meal or bran, either one, whichever one you had, and you cooked it down, and you put poultices on there, kill any, and 9 times out of 10 it worked.
It worked?
It worked. Of course it worked. I'm proof of that.
One-legged people running around. They either died or it worked.
There was a man at my house the other evening, and he was 35 years old. I have my quilt frames up in my kitchen, and he come in there and he reached up there and he said, do you hang pots and pans all along here? I said, don't you know what that is? I have no idea. He'd never seen a quilt frame before. He didn't even know how you made a quilt. See that time?
Yeah. Well, do you remember Grandpa Cagle work? Did he ever work in the garden back then? Or was that something that he took
Grandpa
up?
Cagle?
Yeah.
Well, of course he worked in the garden.
Well, I'm just asking. As a kid, that's all I remember.
Let me tell you something.
He would get in that garden.
Let me tell you something.
I remember him praying in
He
that
plowed. He plowed. He kept it. Grandma. He tried to take all the heavy work off Grandma. He was proud of Beth. He called her Beth.
Here you are. You're 90.
I'm 93. I'll be 94 Christmas.
You've got good health. You look good. You feel good. What have you done to do to
everything in the world that could be done?
I know, but you're doing something. I mean, what do you drink? A lot of coffee? Do you not drink coffee?
I drink coffee all day long. All day long. If something's bugging me overnight and I can't go to sleep, I'll get up and make me a fresh pot and sit in the kitchen and drink it by myself.
Well, what else?
coffee-
What else have you done to stay? I mean, people would give anything for your secret. Is there a secret or what's?
No, just let me tell you something. At your age, have you ever heard of anybody talking about going through a depression when Hoover was president?
Oh, yeah. I've heard. I wasn't there.
Well, if you can ever think of a living nightmare, that was what it was. And anybody that can survive a time like that can survive anything. And I'd say that was, you just learn to improvise. You do what you have to do. I grow a garden, I work. I still work as much as I ever worked in my lifetime.
Do you take blood pressure medicine or anything?
I don't even take an aspirin.
It's amazing.
Well, no, it's just the hand of the good Lord. That's what it is. He wanted me to stay here just a little while longer. I don't take no that kind of medication.
But I came from Chattanooga, the doctor's office in there a while ago. I was up there with my mom, and there's people in there 30, 35 years old, heart attacks, blood pressure medicine, cholesterol, on canes, on walkers, people in their 30s.
Yeah,
And,
I know.
you know, I mean, a lot of it is just in the genes, too. I mean, you were
Well,
blessed with genes, but you've obviously done something.
A lot
Where you,
of these people ain't living right. They're out there
I would, if giving and surviving a community and my country would be any help whatsoever, I would give anything in this world that I have got to anybody that needs it. To share, and my daughters just like me. I think we got that maybe from Grandpa. You didn't know Grandma, did you? Grandma Cagle? You didn't
I
ever
knew-
see her when she was in good health.
no.
Oh,
no.
Lord, she was. Whew.
Not. She was. Seemed like she was just had all kinds of health issues.
Not until later years.
talking
When she went,
about Lassie.
You're
when she
talking
went,
about Lassie, right?
Lassie's
Huh?
mother.
huh?
You're talking about Lassie's mother.
I'm talking about Grandma Cagle.
Mama's grandmother.
Huh?
Okay.
Your grandmother.
Well, that
Our
would
grandmother Cagle.
that would have been our grandmother's grandmother.
You would have been your great grandmother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was your great grandmother. That was it. There wasn't no drugstores. There's no such a thing as medication of no kind. It is just we went by whatever we'd been brought up with. Plain old willow tree. You would be surprised. Aspirin now is made from the old willow tree that we used the bark and made tea out of for pain. Now
That
it's
was
the main
aspirin.
ingredient in
Yeah.
aspirin.
Did you know
You
that
didn't know
someone's
that
aspirin-
is a painkiller?
if aspirin were just invented as a drug today, it would cost probably $5 a pill.
Well, we need to go
But
back.
it's so
People
cheap.
are
It's
gonna
so
have to go
old.
back
now.
to
Yeah.
program.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
But have you ever chewed on a piece of a willow?
No.
It's it's bitter. It's worse than aspirin, but it is bitter. But it's a painkiller.
But all the herbs, all the things that you use for poultices and for teas and all them things like that, most everybody wouldn't believe that we use
Wow.
that for our main source of medicine.
Yeah.
And Grandma Cagle had it all stored away. She had a big cabinet full.
She did.
She made laxative out of white walnut bark. And we would
White walnut bark.
we would strip that white walnut bark and she would boil it in a big old iron kettle. She would boil that down, it maybe out of 15 gallons of water. It would maybe a couple of teacupfuls of, look like tar, but about that much of it, and it'd put you over the hill fast. Oh, that is what everybody used for laxative.
Really?
You made it. It was not. That is just one of the things that we use, you know, for.
Yeah. Wow.
I could name you dozens of them that we use.
I'll be darned.
Did you ever hear of slippery elm bark?
No.
No.
Do you know anybody?
All new to me.
Do you know anybody that's maybe 60, 65 years old can tell you what slippery elm bark is?
Yeah, I know a couple, well, maybe one person, maybe. But that's maybe.
Well, slippery elm bark is it was a big, thick bark on this elm tree. And you cut it off in great big chunks, you know, so you could handle it. And when you grated that, it made a kind of flimsy-like poultice. And now that is the main ingredient that was used on Uncle Russ Brown's legs when they were so bad, but he was forever getting into something. But now the slippery elm bark was priceless. If you could find a tree like that and get the bark off of it, you could take it to McMinnville, and people did. They just about killed out the trees out there to get it. Because it is priceless. If you could find it today, they keep it graded. It's in drugstores.
Huh.
It's the finest medicine in the world. Wet it, just wet it and put it on an infected place. I guarantee you that it'll cure it.
I see
You can get it graded right now in a drugstore, and you wet it, make a post out of it, and put it on with a pot.
I'll be.
It's that's all we had, so we had to use it.
Yeah.
Mama, I don't believe Burton's coming back.
But I was
yes, he
awful.
is. Well, thank you for taking time to talk to us.
I was
here.
awful healthy, and I never did use nothing like that. But I knowed how to grow it. I knowed how to use it. I knowed where it come from.
Did you ever see an American chestnut tree before
what?
they died? American chestnut tree.
Oh God, yes. I gathered chestnuts from under them. Lord, yes, we'd go chestnut hunting. That's the main thing in the fall. There's only one real live chestnut tree that I know of anywhere, and that is from what?
One still living
Yeah,
right now?
yeah.
Well,
I know where one is. I wasn't.
they're
two years
okay.
ago.
They get the blight when they get the bark
Oh yeah,
on the tree.
and so did persimmons. But the old big ones are gone. These are coming up from the old sprouts and shrubbery stuff.
Yeah.
So we got them.
You know what killed the American chestnut tree? It was a blight
Blight.
that was
Yeah.
brought into New York. And it started in New York and came this way. And it actually went all over.
I would have thought it would have come in from the southern
It
state.
came in from the shipping somewhere right there, and it started in New York, right there within just a few miles.
It's like the kudzu, you know.
If you could find
Yeah.
American chestnut,
It was a-
it'd be nice to
Yeah.
find one.
Did you ever eat any of their old American chestnuts?
No.
Did you?
I don't know. I don't think.
They're a lot smaller than the Chinese chestnuts. A lot smaller. But they was as sweet. I mean, it was just.
Mama, out there where we used to go get apples, that big old chestnut tree. What was his name? Out around Skymont somewhere. Was that an old American? That tree was that big around. It's a big old chestnut tree in his yard.
Well, it would take a long time for a tree to get that big.
I
Yeah,
think so,
They
Harry.
just died
Yeah,
in the,
it was.
what, the 40s,
But,
didn't they? They just died in the
Yeah,
40s.
I think so.
But
That had to be of the original chestnut, that big, a tree that big.
that
We used
kind
to
of.
go get apples from this gentleman, and that's, I remembered that tree.
Are we talking about back just out of Tracy?
Huh?
Where we went and got the apples? Was it just going on through Tracy?
Oh.
Which circuit are we talking about?
I can't even think.
You live on one too. But anyway,
Peach.
what Grandpa pulled on me, he told me to put harness on the mare that we was going to haul rock in a sled. We was going to clean off a field.
And this is Grandpa Nimrod.
That was Grandpa Nimrod. I stayed with him all the time when I was growing up. Anyway, we was going to put harness on the mare. Well, I climbed up on this stump, and I got this big old harness, and I put it on. I fastened it all good. I thought it fit real good because I put it on.
On my feet.
Well, Grandpa come, he took a good look around, you know, he patted him what I'd done and all, and he said, you'd have made a damn good ox driver because you got it hell far upside down. Oh, Lord, I thought I'd die. Oh, it embarrassed me to death. He just patted me on the shoulder. He said, turn it right around upside down. Did you ever harness a horse?
No.
No.
Did you?
No.
Well done, fellas, you ain't learned nothing.